One of the most important lessons that you can ever learn about life, you can learn from a lobster. Now, see, what most people don't know is that a lobster is actually a really soft animal that lives inside of a hard shell called an exoskeleton. And this exoskeleton does not grow. So eventually, the lobster will have to physically break out of its own shell. And it knows that it's time because it starts to get extremely uncomfortable in its current shell. So it goes inside of a rock, hides from predators, breaks out of its shell, and regrows another larger shell. And each time it goes through this process, it actually becomes more difficult to break through its shell because the new shell is harder than the older shell was. And this is an extremely stressful process for the lobster to have to go through. And the lobster is one of the few animals in the world that never stops growing until the day it dies. So it does this over and over again. So the stimulus for growth for a lobster is discomfort and stress. Now, if lobsters had doctors like humans do, they go to the doctor and say, "Hey doc, I'm stressed out all the time. I also feel uncomfortable." The doctor would say, "Hey, no worries. Here's some pills. Take those and you'll feel better." And the lobster would never grow. See, this is how growth works for us as well. For us to grow, we must sometimes go through some stressful things. We might have to be uncomfortable and break out of our shell every once in a while. But every time we do, we grow and we become stronger and more resilient in the process. And that makes it harder to break us the next time. And if more stress comes, we must fight through it, knowing that we'll grow and we'll become stronger on the other side. Think about this for a second. What was the hardest time in your life? I bet it was hard. I bet it was stressful. I bet you didn't want to go through it. But here you are, stronger on the other side, more resilient having gone through it. It made you who you are today. So next time you go through something that's really hard, know that you'll be okay. You'll get through it, and it'll all work out in the end. It always does. And you'll come out stronger on the other side. So just remember, be like the lobster. Don't run from the hard times. Break through them, and until the day you die, never stop growing.